Well, hi everyone. In honor of Halloween, today's discussion is about zombie cells and their impact on our health span and our longevity. I've organized the discussion into three sections. In section 1, we'll address what are zombie cells, and here we'll cover a brief history of scientific research, what causes the number of zombie cells to increase over our lifetime, and are all zombie cells bad? Next, in section 2, we'll cover the health risks created by excess zombie cells. And finally, in section 3, we'll address the best interventions to control zombie cells for improved health span and longevity. So with that said, let's get started. So what the heck are zombie cells? Zombie cells are also called senescent cells, and senescence refers to the process where cells get damaged and stop multiplying but don't die. This undead characteristic gives them the nickname zombie cells. The three defining characteristics of senescent or zombie cells are that 1, they no longer function correctly, 2, they secrete chemicals that promote inflammation, and 3, they damage neighboring cells. Zombie cells were first discovered and described in the 1950s, but it was not until 2008 when it was proven that they secrete substances that produce inflammation, which is a major driver of practically every important age-related disease. It is understood that oxidative damage to the telomeres, which are the protective tips of our chromosomes, is what triggers cellular senescence. Zombie cells represent the cutting edge of longevity research, and it's what the leading scientists like David Sinclair of Harvard are working on right now. As we age, we are exposed to oxidative stress from a variety of sources, such as obesity, diets high in fat, sugar, and processed foods, the so-called Western or standard American diet, electromagnetic fields and excess radiation, alcohol consumption, pollution, and other irritants like pesticides, industrial chemicals, and cigarette smoke. These all can damage our DNA and chromosomes, creating zombie cells, secreting inflammation, keeping our immune system busy, and damaging nearby cells. Are all zombie cells bad for us? In some mice studies, it's been shown that some amount of zombie cells may aid in wound healing and may be involved to suppress the development of cancer by limiting the capacity of tumor cells to divide. But the problem arises with excess buildup of zombie cells, since our immune system can't keep our various mechanisms in balance, which is known as homeostasis. Now in section 2, let's discuss the health span risks of excess zombie cells. Aging is characterized by the progressive loss of our cells' function and the accumulation of inflammation. Inflammation is beneficial when it is acute, such as with wound healing, but slow, gradual inflammation that comes with aging is a common background for major diseases such as cancers, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. Generally, we want to control inflammation to promote a stronger immune response, which is why C-reactive protein, or CRP, is one of my 5 biomarkers of longevity. As a reminder, CRP is an enzyme or a protein secreted by our liver in response to inflammation, and we want to keep this below 1.0 milligram per deciliter, or even lower, the better. And I do a number of inflammation lowering protocols, and as a result, my CRP is currently measured at 0.36. Some other zombie cell headlines noted from the National Institutes for Health on my other 4 longevity biomarkers include, number 1, vitamin D. Low vitamin D strongly affects aging, and vitamin D reduces inflammation and counteracts cellular senescence. Number 2, regarding lipids, the National Institutes of Health recently published that lipids are emerging as key players of senescence and aging. Third, HbA1c, or hemoglobin sugar. Here, metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes may be prevented or improved with zombie cell reduction. And finally, fourth, testosterone. Testosterone delays vascular, smooth muscle cell senescence, and improves vascular aging and age-related cardiovascular disease. Finally, in section 3, let's cover the best interventions to control zombie cells for optimal health span and longevity. And as a spoiler alert, they start with the 5 pillars of longevity. First and foremost is exercise. The Mayo Clinic says that this is the most promising tool we have to counter the buildup of senescent cells. Regular exercise is crucial for what's known as autophagy, which means cellular cleanup, which is exactly what we want to do with our zombie cells. And specifically, we want resistance training for the adaptive response of muscle fiber and cardio for increased heart and lung capacity. Second intervention is nutrition, and we're seeking a balanced diet with adequate protein. And we're really looking for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory foods. And a couple of 25-cent words to consider are polyphenols and prebiotics. Polyphenols just means bright-colored fruits and vegetables. And a couple examples that are called out are apples and green tea. With regard to prebiotics, this just means soluble fiber digested by our microbiome or our gut. And some foods that are called out as examples include peppers, onions, and beans. The third intervention for reducing our zombie cells is chronic stress reduction. And here we're seeking to reduce the cortisol hormone. And we can achieve this with quality sleep, social connection, avoiding overtraining, and spending time in nature. Number 4 is vitamin D, and as we discussed, adequacy is directly helpful with countering inflammation and cell senescence. And then next on the list are a couple of hormesis protocols, and that word hormesis just means healthy doses of healthy kinds of stress. So the 2 key examples that are cited are heat exposure and cold exposure. With regard to heat exposure, what we're doing is increasing our circulation and repairing our mitochondria. And examples include hot baths, sauna bathing, infrared, and red light therapy. With regard to cold exposure, we're directly reducing inflammation. And so examples here include cold baths and showers, cryotherapy, and being in cold temperatures. Additional ideas for you to consider for reducing your zombie cells. One is a supplement, which is omega-3 fish oil, and this has very strong anti-inflammatory properties. And then my favorite, which is earthing or grounding, which just means connecting to the earth with your skin, such as walking barefoot on a park. And in 2023, the National Institutes of Health declared that earthing is a universal anti-inflammatory remedy because it reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. So in summary, let's take action to prevent the zombie apocalypse for our cells and promote quality health as we age. And thank you very much. I appreciate your time.